Howdy, I'm Whimsy. Art fight. You know it, you love it. It's art fight prep season and I've got a lot of prep to do. This is my second year participating, although I admit I didn't get as much art done as I was hoping to last year. I joined last July when I was on vacation, so I drew a couple of tacks in the car when I had the time, and then when I got home from vacation my job just consumed me. I only posted one character with art I had already had on hand last year and just called it a day, but within the first week I got my first ever attack. I absolutely cherish it. It was actually the first time anyone has ever drawn one of my characters from this specific story of mine called 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙠. And Alan is my current favorite OC. He has been for a good while now, so it just meant so much to me. This year I'm really hoping to draw more and attack as much as possible. I already have a hit list of about 10 characters planned out. Cross my fingers I get to them all, but honestly, as long as I beat my record of 2, I'll be happy. So right now I'm drawing Cade, who's a character from my story 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙠. It's pretty much a summer camp for kids who have, powers and stuff. I know, cringe, totally unoriginal, but I don't care. I love it so much. It's inspired by all the things that I love, that I grew up with, things like Ben 10, X-Men especially, Percy Jackson, got the summer camp and the kids vibe in there. In the canon of the story, not everyone has powers, and not everyone in this universe is okay with people having powers. Cade specifically comes from a family who was very vocal about being against people who were born with gifts. So she actually hides hers. Hers is telekinesis, so it's pretty easy to hide. She became an athlete. She played as many sports as possible and used her telekinesis to cheat. I know. With this ability, she did become very good at a lot of different sports, and that's kind of what she became known for. Her jersey number in every sport she plays is number 5. As you can see, her birthday is May 5th, so it only seems fitting. Cade actually has a younger brother named Kyle. I didn't draw him for this video, and he's not on my art fight, but he is pretty important to her story specifically. Pretty much he gets a power that is very hard to hide, and his develops very later than Cade does, as he's a couple years younger. Cade's parents react very poorly to this, outright shun him, and they try to take Cade as well and protect her from him, but she realizes she needs to do what she has to do. She outs herself with her powers and takes Kyle and runs away. They both find Camp Andromeda, where they both enroll, and they are able to be themselves there with other kids that are like them. I'm not really sure how Cade and Kyle end up finding the camp, but in the present day of the story, which is summer 2066, they have been there for quite a while and have not talked to their parents in many years. So now we're moving on to Alan, who is my favorite character, as previously mentioned. Alan and Cade are best friends. They've both been going to the camp for a while. Alan longer than Cade. Alan's been going since he was a smaller child. He's been there a good 10 plus years probably. Alan is very headstrong. He is a natural born leader. He is the type to encourage everyone to keep going. In the present day of the story, Alan and Cade are both 18 years old, and they're going into training to become the next generation of camp counselors. So the way Alan's power works is he has these birthmarks on his forearms that he can strike his fingertips against like a match, and they light on fire. He can also blow on the flame to create kind of like a hairspray to a lighter effect. Very cool, very dangerous, oh my gosh. Several years before the beginning of present day of the story, Alan actually loses his childhood best friend. His name is 𝙩𝙤𝙖𝙤𝙤𝙤, He has been missing for several years. Everyone else says that he's dead and not coming back, but Alan is convinced that he's out there somewhere and he just needs to be found, and that everyone else has given up on him. He sneaks out at night into the woods to look for him pretty often, until one night he does get caught by his new roommate, Carter, and they end up working together almost. I'm not sure exactly how, but they're going to come up with some type of deal and reluctantly work together to look for Luke. We're gonna put a pin in that story for the time being. Next is Carter. He is the newest camper at the camp. Him and his brother Nathaniel, which we'll get back to later, have been moving around different foster cares for a while now, and a foster parent of theirs puts in a tip that they have, powers, or they suspect they do. So they get sent to this camp almost against their will. Carter is very frustrated by this because he is almost 18 years old, almost aged out of foster care, and now because he's at this camp, he is obligated to finish it, at least for the rest of the year, or the summer, I guess, even though his birthday is in June and he's almost 18. I would like to state that at the beginning of the story, Carter is in no way a good older brother. He was totally planning on just kind of abandoning his little brother Nathaniel and going off on his own to become his own person. He's really sick of being around Nathaniel. They are actually half siblings. Carter is pretty attached to the idea that his dad is going to come back and rescue him. I don't have a super clear idea of Carter and Nathaniel's entire home life story. I imagine that Carter's parents were together. He was very close with his dad. They got divorced for some reason. His dad left them and he hasn't seen them since. His mom either remarried or maybe she got pregnant with Nathaniel and that was the reason for the divorce. I'm not quite sure, but Carter's always held resentment towards Nathaniel, even though it was really his mother's choice all along to not be with Carter's father. Carter and Nathaniel's mother ends up passing away, which is why they do get put into foster care, and kind of kicks off their whole story, and their relationship just gets so much worse over time. Carter has electricity powers, but he has no control over them. He has no idea where they came from or how to use them. But he does have really bad anger problems, as you probably have picked up on. So he pretty much ends up blowing light bulbs up when he gets upset, which is why he was kicked out of foster care in the first place. On screen now is Nathaniel, which is Carter's younger half-brother. He doesn't have a power yet. He's not quite old enough for his to have manifested. Really interested to see where it goes with him over the course of the story. Next is Emil. She has a big fat crush on Alan, even though he is way too old for her. He is also kind of oblivious to her crush because he has always seen her as a younger sister. He looks out for her, he cares very deeply for her, just in a different way than she is maybe hoping for. Her superpower is actually super speed. Even though she is wicked smart, I was wanting to give her some type of power to do with that, but it felt kind of like a cop-out. Oh yeah, this young girl can only be smart because she has a power to be smart, not because she's actually smart. I didn't really like that. That's not the message I was wanting to send. So, her power is actually super speed now. She doesn't really use it to run. She's not much of an athlete, but I do imagine her reading books super quickly. She is a big hopeless romantic. She loves romance novels, fantasy. She thinks that Alan is her prince in shining armor that's gonna come save her as soon as he realizes that she's in love with him. Again, all in air quotes really, because that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. I usually try to make all of my characters queer because when I was a young kid, I didn't see a lot of queer representation in media that I enjoyed. You could probably see on screen soon that I dabbled in making Emil pansexual, but I just couldn't imagine her being obsessed with girls the same way she would be just so obsessed with boys. So unfortunately, she is my only straight character. Also, something I think I forgot to mention before now was Camp Andromeda is called that because the camp, although it is for kids with like powers and stuff who need a place to go, it's actually disguised as a space camp for troubled teens and kids. So all of the theming is space themed, all of the cabins are going to be named after planets. In my original version of the story in 2020, they were actually based off of north, south, east, and west, but I thought it was kind of random for it being like a space camp, so I'm changing it. Thank you so much for art fight prepping with me and letting me yap about my characters. Don't forget to add me on Art Fight. My username is 𝙤𝙬𝙖𝙣𝙠. I will be on Team Comedy. I hope everyone has an amazing art fight season, and I will see you on the battlefield. Bye!